Welcome back to Face the State. I'm Ariana Bennett. Thank you for being with us. Well, with Tesla moving to town, the governor's office is predicting as many as 22,000 more jobs will be created in Nevada directly or indirectly over the next several years. And with a handful of other large companies relocating to northern Nevada, experts say we can expect a major increase in population. Of course, all those people will need places to live. And with stalled residential and commercial building after the recession, we could see an interesting time for our real estate market. Now, Dave Hansen, president of the Reno Sparks Association of Realtors, is here to talk about that with us. Dave, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so this is such an interesting time for northern Nevada. You know, unemployment going down, population going up. I think you'd expect to see kind of a paucity of things for sale on the market. Is that kind of what we're seeing right now?
We don't have a very good inventory situation right now, which is the biggest problem we have. We think it's going to get better. We had a really low number of new listings in December, less than 300, and January perked up a little bit, and we had over 400. So in the Reno Sparks area, we've been selling about 500 houses a month.
Wow.
So we had some drop. It's all seasonal, you know, so it goes up and down, and we expect that we're going to perk up a little bit as we go forward into this year.
Now, ever since the Tesla announcement, have you guys seen kind of a increased interest in home buying in this area?
Well, it's picking up, but I think you know, people are thinking that it's going to be a big influx right away. But the first people that are coming for Tesla are construction people. They're building that big factory out east of town, and so those people aren't going to be permanent residents. They're looking for rentals, and rental properties is also a problem. So you know, there's a shortage of rental properties, and rents are going up. Nationally, we've had an increase in people renting houses and a decrease overall in people owning houses. Probably the national number of people owning houses went down about 1 million instead of rising. So in the past few years, while rentals kept going up, but more people are going to be interested in buying houses now.
You think it's not like a changed mentality because of the recession?
Well, part of it is that people, you know, were kind of waiting to see what happened after we got out of that situation. A lot of people lost their homes and they turned into renters. Some of those people are now qualified to get back into home ownership, so we'll see that. There's been quite a low number of first-time home buyers, record low, and we think that's going to increase because of some of the changes that are happening. It's going to be easier for first-time home buyers to buy. There's better down payment programs for them. In fact, the Nevada Housing Division has a 4% grant. It's a grant. They can get money they don't have to pay back to help with the down payment and closing costs. So that's going to encourage people to get out of rental properties and into home ownership.
But do we have the homes to sell them if they do?
Well, we don't have. We have only about a 3.8 month supply of inventory of selling at the rate we've been selling. So if we don't get new listings, we'll run out of houses, but the listings are picking up. The home builders are starting to build again. We do have a shortage of construction workers in town, so we're going to have to, you know, at one time we had a lot of people building houses, and they were building spec houses, and so more people are going to come into town to build houses, and those people have to find some place to live too, won't they?
Right.
And and there's also somewhat of a shortage of money for builders to build new houses. They can get enough to build a few houses at a time and then sell those, but they sell quickly. So then they can get another loan and build some more houses. They can't get a big loan and build a whole lot of houses.
Yeah, it is, I guess, logic then, you know, if we have right now, until they can kind of catch up with the supply down, it would drive prices way up, right?
The prices we expect are going to increase slowly this year. We think maybe a 5 to 6% over the course of the next 12 months increase in price. It's not going to increase really rapidly like it did before. A lot of people that were upside down are no longer upside down because of the price increase and the fact that they've paid off their mortgages. So if you look at what was sold in the month of January, 85% of those were what we call equity sales. Those weren't people that were upside down. They were regular sales. They weren't distressed or short sales or bank owned or anything like that. They were just regular sales. So we're getting back into a normal market.
Okay. So what does this mean for sellers right now?
It means if you want to sell your house, you're going to get a lot of offers. And so it's a seller's market. And but people that price their houses to market will get a lot of offers, and they won't have trouble selling it. It's a problem for the buyers, because buyers are going to get frustrated because they're going to make offers that maybe are even full price offers, and they're not going to get the house because other people want the same house.
Right.
So the buyers have to be ready. They have to have their loan approved. They're ready to go with their lender, and they have to make a reasonable offer, and that might be an offer that's even over full price.
Wow. So, I mean, would you say maybe wait a little bit until kind of the market can catch up, more homes go on the market or more homes get built?
I think people that, are interested in buying a house should start exploring it now. It may take them a while to get the house they want, but they should remember to be ready and make a good offer when they get it. Don't try to lowball. I mean, people try to go under and think they're going to make a bargain or make a deal on a house. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, the price that it's advertised, you're just going to kind of be
take that
stuck
or
with
something more.
So do you think it is still possible to get a decent deal on a home? Or, I mean, I think the concern as a home buyer is always going to be, well, this is the price they're asking. I don't want to ever pay more than it's worth. And if I turn around and want to sell it in 3 years, I don't want it to be worth less because the market is stabilized. What advice do you have for those people?
Well, we see that, prices are going to move up steadily. So we're back on track where if you go back in history, there's about just a little bit more than a 4% annual increase in house values. So we're not going to see that bubble anymore. We're going to be on an increase. And this year, because we were in kind of a hole, we're going to see a little bit more than that. So it's going to be about a 5 to 6% increase in the next 12 months.
So there's no concern for you about this, lack of inventory driving prices up so much that it does kind of create a little bit of artificial, price inflation?
We haven't seen that, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. So the growth seems to be slow enough that it's sustainable.
I think so.
Well, that's good news to hear. I think, people are a little skittish, understandably, with, everything that has happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah, if we can just get those new houses built, and I see a lot of it going on in my neighborhood and probably in other people's neighborhoods. The cement trucks are out there in the morning pouring cement, but, they're not building an excess of houses. They're building, what they can, and those houses are selling. But, the new jobs that are coming into town, that's going to take, 5 years before all those jobs are here that we hear, 50,000 jobs coming to Reno Sparks.
Right.
It's going to take a while for them to be here.
Right. Okay. So are there any areas in particular that, there's a lot of interest in? I mean, are we kind of expanding outward, or is a lot of the interest coming in closer to downtown as, there's that kind of reinvention of the Midtown area?
Well, downtown, if you look at, realtors look at what they call the shadow inventory, the distressed properties that are, out there that people don't know about. Well, if you look at the core areas of Reno and Sparks, that's where most of those are, and there's not very many of them left anymore. As you go out in the direction of southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest, you'll see newer houses, and you'll see less of the shadow inventory. You'll see houses that aren't that old, and some pretty good deals are out there. If you can find a house that maybe is one of those distressed properties that's being resold as a bank property, maybe it's got some cosmetic problems, but if you can work with that, you can probably get a good deal, but they're going to be hard to find.
So now might be a time to look for a fixer-upper.
I think so, yeah.
Is there a lot of interest in the Midtown area, and kind of as downtown is trying to clean itself up, and the whole idea about the University District? I mean, is that still hot property?
Well, there's not that many houses for sale, though.
Right.
And if we look at how many are getting sold in that part of town, there's not that many that are turning over. People are there; they're not going to sell their houses. The place that's got a lot of inventory is if you go to southwest suburban, because a lot of those are very high priced, and so that's the only place in town where we have a lot of inventory that's not selling. But most of the other areas, that the houses get on the market and they're priced, and there's people that are buying in different neighborhoods with different incomes. And I like to look at the neighborhoods by zip code. In the past, we've looked at, what is the median income for Washoe, and right now it's about $54,000 for the median income. But if you look at different areas, different parts of town, people moving into those areas have higher incomes. So if you look at South Meadows, for example. The people that are buying those houses can afford those houses. So it's the affordability is there.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens to Reno, I think. It kind of makes me wonder if we're going to end up looking a lot more like Las Vegas as we just keep expanding out, you know, north and east and south. I mean, even just in the last 10 years, we've seen tremendous growth in those kind of like outskirts. I don't even know if they'd be considered the outskirts anymore.
Yeah. I was down in Las Vegas a week ago, and I was surprised at how spread out that is and how long it takes you to drive across town to get someplace. It's just a really big place.
Yeah, it
And
absolutely
Reno
is.
started before Las Vegas did, so we're a little bit behind them.
Well, it'll be interesting to see next couple of years.
Yeah.
All right, we just have about a few minutes left, but do you have any advice, I mean, for people either considering selling or considering buying?
Well, either one, I think that you need to talk to a professional. You need to talk to a lender if you're going to be buying and get pre-qualified before you go out looking for houses. And then drive around the neighborhoods and find out which neighborhoods you like. All neighborhoods are different, and not all neighborhoods are for everybody. So find out where you are with respect to where you want to be, and look at the amenities in the given neighborhoods. And then get a real estate professional to work with. You know, whether you're buying or selling, it helps to have somebody that's got the knowledge.
Absolutely. It is a lot more complicated of a process than you'd think it would be. I learned that one first.
Yep.
You need a realtor.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for anyone before we say goodbye?
No, I think we've pretty much covered the waterfront.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Okay,
I sure
thank you.
appreciate it. That is it for this episode of Face the State. But for more information or to see past episodes, just head to our website, ktvn.com. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week.